I, Douglas Ducote, an American patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and especially domestic. I, Douglas Ducote, an American patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and especially domestic. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, Patriots, and welcome to another edition of the Douglas Ducote Show. You had many places to be tonight, chose to be here with me, and for that, I am forever grateful. As a reminder, at the second part of tonight's show, stay with us. My wife, Marilyn, is going to join us. Little town hall question and answer from you guys in the chat. Whatever you'd like to ask us, please feel free to do. And also to discuss today being PTSD Awareness Day. While we don't have a month like many other people do, I don't know, but we do have a day. So she is one of the most, if not the most, highly qualified, educated professional in mental health in Southwest Louisiana. Woman's got more degrees hanging on her wall than you can shake a stick at. But anyhow, she's very good at her job, and she's going to come on and do a little chat with everybody about that, as well as any questions you may have for either one of us. Feel free to ask. Tonight's lead story is something that I've been watching very closely. And it first was reported on CNN, and most of what CNN reports is fake news, so I don't really pay much attention to it. But then it started being picked up little bits and pieces by other news organizations, and then it's went pretty much viral. It's not only CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC, the Washington Times, the Washington Post. Hell, the BBC is covering this story. And after I've managed to vet it and make sure that it is correct and we're not being lied to, I went a step further and I listened to the actual audio recording that they're referring to. And let's just say that I hope Donald Trump has some damn good lawyers, because I now have a little more insight into what the FBI is looking at and the Department of Justice with these recent indictment. That being said, Hillary Clinton did way worse, and she got away with it and did absolutely nothing to her. James Comey, Loretta Lynch, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, the list goes on and on and on of all those that were working with this whole fake Russia collusion bullshit to try and entrap a president. So I'll come out to prove that it was all a lie. Was it true? Hillary Clinton actually paid for the fake dossier and to get this drum roll beating to take down Donald Trump. But Donald Trump, sadly, is his worst enemy. There are times when he talks when he shouldn't. And of course, I guess that's with all of us. There are times when I say things that I probably shouldn't say because I didn't think about them in advance. But in Donald Trump's case, he's known this since the day he became president of the United States, actually before, that there are people in his inner circle that do not like him. And they secretly record everything he does. And then they leak it out to the public and to the news media. It's nothing new. It's been going on for quite some time. He needed to clean house. He didn't. He left all these people on for the Obama era. And they came out with video recordings of him saying and doing dumb shit. All right. Let's just face it. Let's be honest. And This one here, I'm not sure how he's going to get around this. But anyhow, here's the actual report that's actually being covered everywhere right now. And I'm going to read you CNN's version of it, which is pretty much spot on from what everybody else is saying, too, in the news media. CNN had exclusively obtained the audio recording of the 2021 meeting in Bedminster, New Jersey, where President Donald Trump discussed holding secret documents he did not declassify. The recording, which first aired on CNN's Anderson Cooper 360, includes new details of the conversation that is a critical piece of the evidence in Special Counsel Jack Smith's indictment of Trump over the mishandling of classified information, including a moment when Trump seems to indicate he was holding a secret Pentagon document with plans to attack Iran. There are the papers, Trump says in the audio recording while he's discussing the Pentagon attack plans, a quote that was not included in the indictment. In the 2-minute audio recording, Trump and his aides also joked about Hillary Clinton's emails after the former president says that the document was secret information. Hillary would print it out all at the time, her private emails. Trump staffer said no. Should send it to Anthony Weiner, Trump responded, referring to the former Democrat congressman, prompting laughter in the room. Trump's statement on the audio recording saying, "These are the papers," and referring to something he calls highly confidential and seems to be showing others in the room, could undercut the former president's claim in an interview last week with Fox News' Brett Baier that he did not have any documents with him. There were no documents. That was a massive amount of papers and everything else, talking about Iran and other things, Trump said on Fox. And it may have been held up or may not, but that was not a document. I didn't have a document per se. There was nothing to declassify. These were newspaper stories, magazine stories, and articles. Trump pleaded not guilty earlier this month to 37 counts related to the alleged mishandling of classified documents kept at his Mar-a-Lago residence in Palm Beach, Florida. The audio recording comes from a July 2021 interview Trump gave at his resort for people working on the memoir of Mark Meadows, Trump's former chief of staff. The special counsel's indictment alleges that those in attendance, a writer, publisher, and 2 of Trump's staff members were shown classified information about the plan of attack on Iran if it was to go through. The episode is one of 2 references in the indictment where prosecutors allege that Trump showed classified information to others who did not have security clearances. CNN has previously reported that Trump at the time was furious over a New York article about Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Mark Milley, that said Milley argued against striking Iran and was concerned Trump would set in motion a full-scale conflict. Special counsel's office declined to comment. Trump campaign spokesman Stephen Chung said in a statement that the audio tapes provides context, proving once again that President Trump did nothing wrong at all. The recording obtained by CNN begins with Trump claiming these are bad, sick people, while his staffer claims that he had been a coup against him. Like when Milley is talking about, oh, you're going to try to do a coup? No, they were trying to do that before you were even sworn in, the staffer says, according to the audio. The next part of the conversation is mostly included in the indictment, though the audio makes clear that their papers shuffling as Trump tells those in attendance that he has an example to show. He said that he wanted to attack Iran. It is amazing. Trump said, as the sound of paper shuffling can be heard, I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look, this was him. They presented him this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him. The indictment includes a lapse where the recording obtained by CNN shows where Trump and his aides began talking about Clinton's emails and Weiner. Those laptop calls the FBI to briefly reopen its investigation into the handling of the classified information days before the 2016 election, and that she lost to Trump. Trump then returned the Iran document, according to the audio recording and indictment transcript. I was just thinking, because we were talking about it, and he said he wanted to attack Iran. And what? Trump says, these are the papers. Trump continues, according to the audio file. This was done by the military and given to me, Trump continues, before noting that the document remained classified. See, as president, I could have declassified it, Trump says. Now I can't, but it's still a secret. Now we have a problem, his staffer responds. Isn't that interesting, Trump says. Now, you can hear the actual audio recorded conversation. It is posted where else but CNN right now on their website. I've listened to it. Many other agencies have the same audio recording. It's been vetted as verified and true. And I don't know what else to tell you. He plainly admits to these people, this group in the room, that at least one of these papers were not declassified, that he did not declassify it, that it was classified. And but yet what he says in public and what he said on the indictment is that he's not guilty. So we'll let it play out in court and see where it goes. But regardless, what Hillary Clinton done, as far as I'm concerned, is 1,000 times worse than what Trump's charged with. And the bitch got away with it. And that's wrong. It's just flat out wrong. Continuing on. As Internal Revenue Service whistleblowers come forward, following what Republicans have called a discriminatory light plea deal for Hunter Biden, aimed at a large investigation into foreign business dealings and potential influence peddling, one journalist following the saga closely told Fox News someone involved in this situation is lying. Friday's whistleblower testimony laid out potential government corruption. New York Post columnist Miranda Devine told Hannity Monday, saying she hopes America has the whistleblowers back. There are, in one word, pain, as very expensive lawyers of Hunter Biden come after them in every single way that they can, as they're being retaliated against right now by the federal government, to which they gave more than a dozen years each of their lives. These are courageous and diligent public servants, she said of Gary Shepley and another individual who has remained anonymous, a whistleblower. According to Devane's publication, the whistleblower revealed several critical allegations suggesting undue influence by Biden administration officials into the investigation initiated by the Trump-era Delaware U.S. Attorney David Weiss, whom Biden intentionally kept in a place to avert conflict of interest claims. Devine reported Attorney General Merrick Garland has said that Weiss did not, and Shipley had claimed, sought to be named special counsel in the Hunter Biden investigation, a title which would have allowed him to override Biden-appointed U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Matthew Graves, and U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California, E. Martin Estrada. Devane claimed the two prosecutors' office refused to allow charges to be brought against Hunter in their jurisdictions. The first son reportedly lives in California. Devane's Post noted Garland had testified to Congress that Weiss was unfettered by Maine justice to bring charges outside of the first state, which the whistleblower's testimony reportedly contradicts. So someone, he said, is lying. And I believe that the Republicans in the House will be hauling those people in to testify under oath. Whistleblower testimony pushed on Twitter by the Oversight Committee alleged another prosecutor in the Wilmington office, Assistant U.S. Attorney Leslie Wolf, discouraged questioning about whether President Biden is the big guy in Hunter's correspondence. We reportedly did seek to bring charges against Hunter and Estrada and Graves jurisdictions in 2022, but it was rebuffed, according to a Post accounting of the testimony. So even when prosecutors find the evidence to charge the Bidens, judges won't allow it. The anonymous second whistleblower claimed Hunter received millions from Ukraine, Romania, and China between 2014 and 2019. Former Trump speechwriter Stephen Miller later told Hannity that the entire situation shows the Biden Justice Department is putting cinder blocks on the scales of this election, adding that by trying to throw Donald Trump into prison is a doubling down on such. How much more of this do we have to witness before we can all arrive at the obvious conclusion that the Department of Justice and the security state are working against our democracy and against the American people, he said. If you compare the treatment that Donald Trump has gotten, one false allegation after another, one investigation after another, his life thrown upside down and torn apart, and you compare that to what we have seen from these IRS whistleblowers, as Miranda said, these courageous whistleblowers, and how the Department of Justice has bent over backwards to shield Joe Biden. In July 2017, Hunter Biden allegedly sent Henry Zalo a WhatsApp message purporting to be sitting here with my father as he asked why a commitment made had not been fulfilled, telling the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand, and now means tonight, the message said, according to disclosure by Congress. Hannity further noted the press has become curious, asking about one incident where the whistleblower reportedly involved Hunter Biden, alleged using Joe Biden sitting next to him as a way to press the CCP-linked businessman via text. And Z, if I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you, Zhang, or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me, which is supposed to be his father, Joe Biden, and every person he knows, and many ability to forever hold a grudge that you will regret for not following my direction. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father. President Biden has repeatedly claimed no involvement in or knowledge of his son's foreign business dealings, most recently responding to a White House reporter with a curt no when asked. The writing's all over the wall. It's coming out. It's an absolute shit show. But the sad part about it is the Department of Justice and the FBI, the people that have the ability to follow up on what Congress is uncovering, refuses to do so. So what do? How do you, if law enforcement will not look into this, what do we fucking do as a country? It's insane. A two-tier justice system has been exposed for all the world to see. And every day the House uncovers more and more damning information about Joe and Hunter and what they did with Ukraine and what they did with China. All these whistleblowers coming forward. And our Department of Justice and FBI are turning a blind eye. It's very shameful and un-American. Bud Light is serving as an official sponsor of the Toronto Pride Parade, where video footage shows naked men standing around and riding bicycles in clear view of children attending the event. The footage, captured by Beth Boschke of the Post Millennium, shows dozens of attendees riding past a large cheering crowd. The fully naked bikers, some covered in paint or tattoos, wave back at the crowd. One naked man high-fives an onlooker while another pedals a bike with a gold blown-up swan adorned around his neck. Second video shows a group of naked men with hats standing in a circle around the crowd. Several children walk past the group of the men with their families. Another clip shows a person wearing a giant penis costume that covers his entire head. The cameraman captures a young girl sitting in a stroller and staring toward the phallic costume individual. Other videos show a group of naked men playing and rinsing themselves off alongside a fountain surrounded by kids. Meanwhile, a stage clearly adorned with Bud Light branding features scantily clad dancers wearing fishnets, nipple stickers, and strange sock-like masks. The company's website notes that this year's sponsor is representative of a long-lasting partnership with Pride event. Bud Light has been a proud partner with Pride Toronto for the last 10 years. This year, we're commemorating the milestone with Pride Toronto by featuring them on our can design, as well as continuing as the official beer sponsor of the Pride Festival, the beer brand's website states. According to the website, Bud Light also provided $100,000 to various organizations in support of the LGBTQIA2S+. I don't know what all those extra ones mean. Community has created a range of commemorative Pride beer cans to celebrate the collaboration. The partnership comes nearly 3 months after Bud Light received massive backlash for partnering with trans activist Dalen Mulvaney. The decision angers consumers, and the brand saw a significant decrease in sales, resulting in billions of dollars in lost market value. But they don't fucking care that they're driving their brand into the ground. In early April, Anheuser-Busch CEO Brendan Whitworth attempted to douse the flames, with a lengthy statement to customers. We never intended to be part of a discussion that divides people. We're in the business of bringing people together over a beer, they said in part. My time serving this country taught me the importance of accountability and the values upon which America was founded: freedom, hard work, and respect for one another. As CEO of Anheuser-Busch, I'm focused on building and protecting our remarkable history and heritage. Despite losing business, Bud Light continued to anger customers for co-sponsoring an all-age Pride event in Flagstaff, Arizona on June 17th. The party, called Pride in the Pines, included drag queens and other performers and listed Bud Light as one of the companies sponsoring the June 17th event. And Bud Light put out posters advertising it as well. This event is listed as family festival event and the family-friendly safe space for all visitors. So here's my question. Why are these people taking their clothes off at their parade marches? Why? Why do you have to do that in front of families and kids? Why are you stripping off your clothing? And in some instances, we've already reported on, wearing BDSM type stuff and beating each other and doing horrible sex acts in front of kids. Why? If you want to be taken serious, why are you acting this way? And furthermore, why has law enforcement not stepped in and arrested each and every one of you and charged you with lewd acts in front of minors? Because that's exactly what this is. And we're turning a blind eye and allowing them to strip naked in front of children of all ages and parade around like a bunch of freaks. Like that's normal. I don't get it. I just don't get it. The worst part about it is the fact that law enforcement stands there and protects them and allows it to happen right in front of them. And they do nothing. Parade all you want, march all you want, protest all you want. But why do you have to take your clothes off and dress up like circus clowns and BDSM performers and perform lewd sex acts in front of children? And why is it being allowed by members of law enforcement? Am I missing something here? Speaking of law enforcement, the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security ignored a massive amount of intelligence indicating the true scope of protests planned for January 6, 2021. According to a new report, Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee released a report on the issue today. finding that both organizations, the FBI and Homeland Security, downplayed or ignored plans by certain right-wing groups prior to the pro-Trump storming of the U.S. Capitol. Panel chairman Senator Gary Peters, Democrat Michigan, said the issue was largely a failure of imagination to see threats that the Capitol could be breached as credible. For instance, law enforcement received one tip claiming that the Proud Boys were planning to literally kill people. Officials took most threats leading up to the event, such as calls for Trump supporters to come armed and prepared to burn the place down, as internet hyperbole. That provided to be the case only one time of the time, however. Senator John Kennedy, Republican Louisiana, reacted to the release of the report in a Tuesday appearance on Fox News, saying that is truly needed is an investigation by an independent third party. I agree. We haven't had the opportunity to have a real objective analysis of what happened on January 6th, before and after. What the Democrats in the House did was basically a partisan car wreck. We only got half the information. Republicans were excluded during that time. There have been no attempts by the Senate, by Senator Schumer. I think what we need is an objective look, if necessary, by some nonpartisan outside experts. The American people deserve this and would like to know what really went down behind the scenes. But it's gotten so politicized, he said. I was there on January 6th. It was an abomination, he said. I'm sorry that it happened. I just wish it hadn't happened. But we're entitled to know, the American people are, why it happened. And if the federal government had advance notice, if so, why wasn't it better prepared? I just don't think any of that is reasonable. But it's all shot through with politics now, he continued. I just don't know why the Justice Department and the leadership in the House and Senate and the FBI won't just tell the American people the truth. The institutions in Washington are not going to regain their integrity in the eyes of the American people until they start telling the truth. I'm afraid the problem is that all these people think the American people are morons. And they did. That is actually what they think. Two Ohio moms took legal action against their kids' former school after claiming it facilitated a bullying campaign against them, reporting them to the FBI after shedding light on controversial finances and CRT-riddled curriculum. Amy Gonzalez and Andrea Gross filed suits against Columbus Academy after the alleged move, while also claiming they were reported to the local police department for their efforts to expose the institution's left-wing ideology. The pair said the school tried to make staffers fearful of them after they raised questions about money spent at the controversial class material, although the school denies those claims. They filed a police report against us with local police. They also weaponized the Parents Association against us. They intimidated to the entirety over 1,000 people that Amy and I had committed 2 felonies, which is false, they said. There's just so many things that we've done that is beyond the pale of what a reaction would be when you're questioning them. Led us to wonder why this reaction is happening, she continued. And I think now we can see. The pair claimed their kids were denied re-enrollment to the school back in 2021 when their feud with officials began. They were forced to find another school for their kids, who Gonzalez argued bore the brunt of the academy alleged targeting. They said their children were devastated and had to change schools. I think one of the worst things that they came was to put shame on my children, to paint them with dishonor, disgrace, like they did something wrong. They were innocent. They did nothing wrong, Gonzalez said. Instead, they treated the children like trash, like they were disposable, she continued. Fox News obtained copies of the school's letter notifying Gross and Gonzalez, who led the pro-California coalition, of the decision to deny re-enrollment. The school, which includes pre-K through 12th grade, effectively expelled 2 of Gross' children and 1 of Gonzalez's. According to the moms, their coalition includes hundreds of other California parents who are also concerned about recent changes to school material. The mothers argued that California has unjustly punished their children for their parents' activism. School officials, however, maintained that the 2 moms blocked the type of positive and constructive working relationship. They agreed to the enrollment agreement they signed. The letters show Columbia Academy leaders alleged that moms had pursued a course of action that had been anything but civil, respectful, and faithful to the facts. Gross said she began questioning the school's money trail after the school could not provide a learning specialist for her daughter, despite doubling with the diversity department. My oldest daughter has a learning disability, and in the years we were looking into things, they had no learning specialist for the child that were 3 to 12 years old. But at the same time, they had doubled on diversity department, she said. We followed the money, and the money really led a lot of us to interesting things. In their 1990s or 990s, and it's their public filings, the evidence, personal enrichment of the head of the board to the head of our school. She also noted students were exposed to gender-based curriculum without parent consent, in addition to controversial material about race and alleged anti-conservative sentiments. We felt it was important to speak out and ask the questions, Gonzalez said. We thought that we would want to collaborate with us because we love the school and we wanted to restore it, make sure that we were had academic excellence and staying on the mission. But it was anything but the case, both moms claim. They said the headmaster of the school at the time even got security after alerting the FBI of the dangerous moms who claimed they were on a mission to stand up for parental rights in the classroom. You cannot weaponize the federal government against parents who are asking questions because they love their kids and they want to know what's happening in schools, Gross said. We also want to know what's happening to the money. We raise the money as parents. We're responsible for making sure that the people, they're doing what they say they're doing with our money. The Columbus County spokesman dismissed the lawsuit in a statement to Fox News, denying that the mothers reported to the FBI. These 2 individuals reached a national media campaign against Columbia Academy for 2 years, the statement read. Their claims have no legal merit. Their actions are old and stale. Columbus Academy will weather this assault as it did the last one, and we will continue educating our young children. I hope that the mothers continue their lawsuit and do not let up. Democrat State Senator Josh Miller, who represents Cranton and Providence, Rhode Island, believes he is above the law. He was accused last Thursday of vandalizing a truck in the Garden City Center, according to Cranton police. Miller, 69, of Cranston, is accused of scratching the inside or the side of a truck with his car keys Thursday afternoon. Cranton Police Chief Colonel Michael J. Winslow said in a news release. Miller initially denied the incident, then said he believed the car belonged to one of the gun nuts. He said stalked and threatened him because of his work in the state house. He said he believed the owner of the car had referred to him by name and he felt threatened, according to the arrest report. Miller later reportedly said he keyed the other vehicle because he was daring me to, basically. Police reviewed video surveillance for several stores in the shopping center during the investigation. And it was plain to see that the congressman had a verbal discussion, took his car keys, and ran it alongside this guy's vehicle. And he was arrested for doing so. Former President Trump is the only current or living former U.S. president who is not descendant from slaveholders. I'll repeat that again for Democrats and liberals. Former President Trump is the only living current or living former U.S. president who is not descendant from slaveholders according to a report today from Reuters. The report detailed the ancestry of Americans' leaders as the 117th Congress. The report found that 5 living presidents, 2 Supreme Court justices, 11 governors, and 100 members of Congress had ancestors who owned slaves. President Biden, President Carter, President George W. Bush, President Clinton, and President Obama on his mother's side enslaved Black people in their family trees, according to the report of Obama's link coming from his white mother's side. Meanwhile, Trump's family did not immigrate to the U.S. until after slavery was abolished. In Congress, Reuters found that at least 100 lawmakers who could trace their family trees to slaveholders included 28 senators and 72 representatives. Prominent names include Senators Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Tom Cotton, and James Lankford on the Republican side. On the Democrat side, Elizabeth Warren, Tammy Duckworth, Jenny Shaheen, and Maggie Hassan. At the Supreme Court, only Justices Amy Coney Barrett and Neil Gorsuch had slaveholder ancestors. Meanwhile, another recent report from the Washington Post found that Justice Kendra Brown Jackson had ancestors who were enslaved, while her husband, Patrick Jackson, has ancestors who were slaveholders. The report comes aimed at a nationwide debate over reparations and the legacy of slavery in the U.S. deep blue states like California, which, by the way, never allowed slavery. Opening inquiries into what a slavery reparations program would look like. The State Reparations Task Force formally recommended in May that the state offer payments up to $1.2 million per qualifying Black resident. However, that proposal was proven radical even for Democrats in California. Governor Gavin Newsom declined to endorse the cash payment shortly after they were proposed. The Reparations Task Force independent findings and recommendations are a milestone in our bipartisan effort to advance justice and promoting healing. This has been an important process, and we should continue to work as a nation to reconcile our original sin of slavery and understand how that history has shaped our country, Newsom said in a statement to Fox News Digital at the time. So I got a thought. Going to go out on a limb here and think outside the box. I got some reparations for you. Let's give them some plots of land across America to open up casinos, just like we did to Indians. It's a win-win for all. People get to gamble and spend money, and the community that represents that particular casino makes bank. Sounds good to me. Put this whole thing to rest. But that'll never happen. Because, we can't think outside the box, can we? Just seems like it's a never-ending problem of who gets to screw over who next and why, and who should be held responsible and who shouldn't be held responsible. As far as I'm concerned, no one living today owns slaves and should not be held responsible. With that, I'd like you to please welcome my wife, Marilyn Williams Ducote. Don't kill yourself getting in here.
We'll move over.
I'm trying.
Oh, gosh, I forgot something.
Oh, gosh, you forgot something. Okay, she forgot something. She'll be back. The last hour of the show, we're going to open this up to your questions. If you have any questions for either one of us, feel free to bring it up in the chat here. We'll try and answer your question for you. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about today being PTSD Awareness Day. And welcome back.
Hi.
What happened to no shit?
Okay, so today is a good day.
Yeah.
And it is PTSD Awareness Day. And oh my gosh, my glasses got stuck in my hair. What are you doing? Can I move over?
Where do you want me to go? There's another part of the desk over here.
I don't know. Look. That's in my way. There. How about
Okay,
that?
there you go.
Okay.
You sure your hair is good?
Yeah, I'm good. And is my hair good?
Well, that's okay. What about
Hey,
your makeup? Your makeup okay?
Let me say that PTSD Awareness Day also includes donuts, I guess.
I forgot to put the box away.
That's okay. We like donuts. I went to work today and I came home to an empty donut box.
I don't have a clue how those donuts got there.
I know it. They just walked in. They wanted to be next to you because they knew.
If Joe Biden can say, I had no discussions with my son Hunter Biden about business dealings, I can say I don't know how the donut box got in the kitchen.
There you go. Okay. Any questions that y'all, let's see. What difficulties have I had dealing with PTSD? Okay. So are you talking about clinically or are you talking about personally? Because as y'all all know, my husband has PTSD. Okay. And I am a mental health counselor. I do I do have many patients who have PTSD. And funny story, when we first met, he didn't know I was a mental health counselor. And his family said the only person who could ever stand him was a mental health counselor. So
that's true. That was a running joke with all my friends, especially my military friends. Like, brother, the only way you're ever going to be in a committed, great relationship is if it's a PTSD counselor.
That's right. That's right. It really is. What kind of COP are you doing, Doug?
What kind of I don't know, John, what COP means.
Neither.
Putin will be a great leader in the USA, not the mummy. Whatever. Okay, continuing on.
PTSD. I'm gonna read about PTSD.
And it doesn't just necessarily mean veterans. Okay,
no,
anybody can get PTSD.
Yes, you have to have a life-threatening event happen. It could be with a rape, it could be with molestation, it could be with a crazy ex-husband, it could be crazy ex-wife. It could
you were attacked, you were in a car crash, you were in a plane crash. Right,
exactly. Anything that you thought, oh my gosh, something bad could have happened to me and I could not be here right now. You know, hurricane. When we came back from the hurricane, that was huge.
Yeah.
Huge, yeah. Because it was a third world country here. And it was, and personally, we dealt with it because all of his triggers came out. Everything it was, you know, there wasn't any law here. Yeah. Except then the National Guard came in and that really helped.
But before that happened, there was about 5 days there where I had my AR-15 strapped to me, 9mm on one side, 357 on the other, walking around at the perimeter of our home to protect it.
Yeah, that's right.
It was literally like being back in a war zone again.
Douglas, what do you say the number one thing to help you cope with your PTSD is? Wait, let me tell you, not only me, okay, just letting you know, but this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he has a reason and a community that he helps with other veterans. And because of his reaching out. So what I would say to people who are veterans or anybody that has PTSD, what happens is you go into yourself. Okay. Right. And when you stop going into yourself and start going out to other people, you're getting healed. You heal from the outside in, and then it heals inside out. And you don't even realize it's happening. But then you go, wow, I woke up early today.
Yeah.
Wow, I smiled today. I kind of felt good today and didn't think about the bad stuff, the dark cloud.
And also asking for help, especially in the veteran community and law enforcement community. firefighting community, first responder community, they feel like asking for help is a bad thing because they will be looked at and frowned upon and possibly lose their job or be reassigned to a desk job. Basically, looked at as, hey, they can't handle this. And so they don't seek help. A lot do not. And then later on in life, many of them sadly commit suicide. So that's something that we've been working on. Marilyn and I both have been working on for quite some time, is helping first responders and veterans and anybody with PTSD understand that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to, if you get assigned a therapist and there's not a good connection there, that you
Switch.
say, I need somebody else.
Yeah.
The very first counselor that I got, that the military gave to me, I was still on active duty when this happened, going through the medical evaluation board process. And that person's name was Muhammad Ali Hussein or something like that. And I was like, what the hell? When I read this name, and I walk in there and I'll be damned if the guy wasn't from the Middle East. And I'm like, I'm sorry, no disrespect, but a lot of my problems come from fighting terrorists. And I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here in front of you and talk. There's no way.
No,
it can't work like that.
You have to find somebody that works with you.
Yeah.
And that really connects with you. And it might be somebody that you wouldn't even think would connect with you, but it works. Another thing is a service animal.
Yes.
Really helps a lot because they don't make you talk. They don't make you, they just love you no matter what. That,
and then there's a lot of different medications out there. I'm not one that's pro medication, all right, but I will tell you that there are some that are not damning long-term effects, and sometimes you have to go through several different cocktails until you find out what's right for you. I managed to do that. But one of the biggest things that I did that helped me was getting outside, getting out of the house, going out and being around family and friends, being around other veterans, and doing things, trying to find joy in things that you've done throughout life and continuing to do that so that you are exposing yourself to the ability to not come inside internally and tear yourself apart.
Music therapy.
Yeah.
Big.
Very big. I started a program for PTSD with music therapy through my nonprofit that I'd started, Veterans United for Justice, where we have performers come around that want to work with us, and the veterans could sign up for whichever type music they liked. And when that type performer came around, not only did they get to go to the show for free, we took care of all expenses of this. They also got to go backstage and meet the performer. So here they are. They're surrounded with other veterans with PTSD. They're listening to the type of music that they like, that brings them comfort, and they're getting to meet that performer. And it's amazing how well that program worked. We
awesome.
Turned around a lot of people that were literally one step out of the grave. And thankfully, and we still have, we're still doing it today. We have people that are well, now that COVID's looks like it's over with, we'll probably get back into it more. But with COVID, it kind of put the brakes on it because performers were stopped. But we've had Ted Nugent. We've had the rock band Kiss. We've had the rock band Journey. We had Hank Williams Jr.
Actually, Journey, I was at that concert, and so was he. But we didn't know each other.
Right, before we met. Literally, like a few months before we met.
Yeah.
We did Mark Chestnut has been somebody that's come out and especially his band have been wonderful to us. Just there's a huge list of performers, and you can see it if you go into on my Facebook page. You can see the different events where we've taken vets to see these different performers. Leonard Skinnard, was one of the bands, and we've done Leonard Skinner several times, their shows, and they're very open and very welcome, and they enjoy to have the vets backstage to hang out with, and so it's
They
pretty
love
cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. Okay, let's talk about PTSD for a second. As far as
Hey, real quick, one quick question before I forget that somebody asked, and I know the answer to
Sure.
this, but I want you to tell them the answer
Tell
to
me.
this. Somebody said, "Do we have a mental health crisis in America?"
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, can I just tell y'all personally? I don't care what you do in your bedroom. Okay, I don't care if you want to act like whatever you want to act in your bedroom, but whenever you're putting it on these children, okay, that's mental health, y'all. Okay, check yourself, because if you're doing something that you think the children need to know about, or that you need to prance in front of them or make them aware of, they don't need to know anything about whatever you're doing in your bedroom. Even if you're the mom and dad, okay, even if they're 18, 22, whatever, you do not need to say, hey, guess what I do in the bedroom. They don't need to know that. Okay,
Right.
That's a mental illness that you have if you're putting it out there to them.
Right.
Now, if they specifically say, hey, mom, is this good to use for the whatever? And then you can say, in my opinion, or in my research, somewhat limited research, but research, maybe a lot of, who knows who you are. That is known to make rashes, or that is known to not be good. Okay. And you can say, look, this plus this make babies, or this plus this, whatever it is, you need to tell them about how to protect themselves against people who are talking about bedroom things, and it's not their bedroom. People who touch you in private places, to talk to say, hey, stop, that's not okay. Even if they say, I'm going to hurt your mom if you don't let me, or whatever, you tell it loud, you tell it to everybody you can tell. Okay, so that you can get out of that situation. All right. And look, I don't pretend to know what's happening in y'all's bedrooms. Okay. And I don't care what's happening in your bedrooms, but don't bring it to our kids, because that's mental health problem. Okay. All right. Now that I've said that, let's talk about PTSD. Okay. There are some things with PTSD that you may be experiencing that you don't even recognize that it's PTSD. Okay. Like depression. Oh, it's just a little small depression. Or I don't have depression. I'm not crying all day. Okay. That's not depression. Depression is, okay, if normal is here and you're in bed more than 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, that's a system depression. Okay. That's something's going on. Okay. If you're getting angry easy, if you have nightmares, or your spouse says, hey, wake up, what's going on with you? Okay. Or you're okay, or whatever. Avoiding certain people or certain situations, that's a sign of PTSD. If you're hyper vigilant, you heard that noise outside. What happened there? Did you hear that? Okay, that's a sign. Any kind of, if you sense a threat, if you're, I don't really want to go in there. It doesn't look safe. Our first date, we were looking for some live music, and we drove past this place, and I said, hey, they say live music. And he looked around and he said, yeah, that's not really a safe place. Let's go to another place. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Just from looking in the parking lot of the vehicles.
That's right.
Watching some people walk in and out of this bar, I was like, nah, we're not going to go in there.
Yeah. Sleeping problems. Okay. If you have sleeping problems, if you feel worthless, okay, that's a sign of PTSD. Emotional regulation. One minute you're fine, the next minute you're not, the next minute you're angry, the next minute you're fine, and then what's wrong with you acting like that to me? Kind of blaming the other person for something. Okay, all right. Relationship issues. If you cannot communicate with somebody that you used to communicate well with, there's something going on there, and you need to get some help. Okay. Repeated traumas. For example, if you think it's funny to throw black cats under the chair of somebody who's a veteran, yeah, that's not funny. That will traumatize them more. Don't do that stuff. Okay. Feeling guilt, a lot of extra guilt. Okay, that's a big deal, because whether or not you were a victim of a train wreck, a car wreck, a motorcycle accident, a sexual abuse, whether you have guilt from action in military. Okay, y'all, that was your job. You were hired to do this. Y'all were hired killers, okay? Because if you didn't do it, guess what? They'd come for us. And it may seem mean, and some people will say, oh, I don't know why you're saying that. War is bad. Okay, but y'all, for real, that's not how these people are trained. Veterans are trained, you kill or be killed. And when you go in, you take out everything, because if you don't, they'll take out our whole company. And everybody is depending on you to do your job. And you have one job, go in there and you get up there and do it. If you don't do it, then there's a problem, because somebody else could be killed. Okay. Right. That was your job. And I know that a lot of people feel guilty. Intimacy problems, getting close to somebody, because they may find out about you, or they might, the best way to combat PTSD is to be intimate with somebody and to share something about yourself, to share your life, to share your trauma. Because here's the deal. If you have something bad and you share it with somebody, they can help you hold the load. Okay. It's halved. If you have something good and you share it with somebody, it's doubled. And then you celebrate together. Okay. But share it in a way that is, not scary.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be scary, and for the other person too.
So I got a question.
Okay.
And I realize you can't speak accurate about this particular situation because you've never met them or talked to them or anything else,
Mm-hmm.
but you know of this situation.
Okay.
When there are people that like to get on social media, like YouTube, for instance, and make light of people that have PTSD or have mental health problems, or make fun of them, isn't that a sign that they have some sort of mental problem if they get off on making fun of people that have mental problems?
It might be. It might be. It might be a mental health issue that they have. It might just be ignorance. Okay. The more you know, y'all, and I know you've seen all the commercials, the more you know, but for real,
yeah.
Here, and I tell him this all the time, you don't know what you don't know until you know it.
And then you can't unknow it.
Unless you have a traumatic brain injury.
Right. Yeah. You're right.
I do. I tell him this all the time.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's true. You have to and support your neighbors and your brothers and your sisters and your cousins and the people that you don't know. Y'all, you have no idea that the smile that you give to somebody somewhere they might be the only smile they get all day.
Right.
But it's true though. You have to, be careful who you're smiling at. Make sure it's not in a dark alley. But yeah.
I smile when things are going really bad and things are starting to get to where it's fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I don't know how to fight. I just know how to fight.
No kidding.
So when
that's real.
When I get to the point to where I'm smiling at you, you're
so mad.
About to get hurt.
Yeah, you need to get away from him. In fact, I've stepped in between before and I've said, hold on 1 second. Hold on, let me take care of it. I tell the other person, wait, watch it.
We were at speaking of casinos earlier. We were at a casino here in the local area, and a guy came up to her and grabbed her on the butt. Just thought it'd be okay to film my wife. And long story
And
short,
I said, hey, the guy just walked by. He's really drunk because he just grabbed me. And I thought it was like this interesting thing, I mean, I'm just a girl, right? And I get grabbed. I don't get grabbed all the time, right? So I was like, hey, somebody just grabbed me.
let's just say that
I'm in Louisiana,
when
right?
it was over and done with, I don't think he will ever do that again, no matter his drunk state.
Well,
Because I
it was
threw him
very
on the
interesting.
ground, and
I didn't even realize what happened.
it was
He turned around, he pulled this, and he put him right down. And he didn't hit him. He didn't hurt him. He was just on the ground because he just kicked in for him, and he was. And I'm like, whoa.
And then, of course, security runs over, and I said, when y'all get an actual law enforcement officer over here, I'll let him up.
Yeah.
And
was
then the
very
guy was
interesting.
charged with being drunk in public and lewd acts and whatnot. But yeah, so it's, one of the things I think is something that people need to know about those that have PTSD, whether it's a vet or whether it's a nurse or any people in the medical profession. God knows they end up with PTSD for some of the traumas and things they experience and see.
That's right.
Or people that have been attacked that have PTSD. Making fun of them or judging them or trying to get in their face is not it's not healthy for anybody in the environment, because you may end up being in a situation where this person goes off on you and you instigated it and brought it on. Will they probably be charged and go to jail for attacking you? Probably so. But why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you on purpose make fun of people that have any kind of disability, whether it's PTSD or they have epilepsy or they have or they're
okay? And let me just say this, okay, because I'm going to get it out of the way, because just like if I ever did something bad, I would want to admit something. I'm going to admit something. Listen, we didn't know what we didn't know back then.
Right.
Okay. Did we make fun of people growing up?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But not people that were vulnerable. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we would say, oh my gosh, you just tripped and fell. What happened to you? Yeah. And we'd call them names or whatever.
But it was
different. It was all in fun.
And it was kids doing it.
Yeah.
Today it's adults doing it.
Exactly.
And that is something that's very strange. I find it very, very strange that adults would want to, because they don't have any other way they can counter an argument with you, want to throw a disability that you have up and make fun of that. It doesn't make any sense to me. And, those are the kind of people that, in my personal opinion, need to be taken out behind the woodshed and have their ass beat. And in some cases that happens to people. So don't be put in that situation. Treat others the way you want to be treated and leave it at that. And if you get off on treating people like shit, then karma says that somebody's going to come back and treat you like shit. So, tread lightly when you do so.
And you know what? Speaking of karma, I know you got donuts today. But
I didn't eat the whole dozen.
Kittens. Can I just say that sometimes we have to post kittens? Right?
I do that.
Okay, I'm just saying. Because we want the good karma to come. Because,
I can't share it with you right now. We got some very good information she just brought to the table here a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
All right. What else before I close out tonight's show? We went 3 minutes over the hour. Anything else you'd like to share with the wonderful people that tune in to listen to me run my mouth for an hour every night or every other night?
Well, I'm answering something that somebody said to me. There you go.
What do you think about Joe Biden?
I think that he's okay. This is, you really want to know? Okay, here's what I think. Y'all know that I always tell you what I think. I think he's old. I think he's got a mental thing. I think that they are being mentally abusive by putting him in front of the world on the world stage. I mean, God save the Queen, right? I mean, I'm just saying. I really think that the next person in line is not a good one.
Camilla.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that cackle, y'all.
Yeah.
Just not.
You know, I just saw pop up in the chat there.
What?
A very good friend of mine.
Wait,
Where'd it go?
when you do that, it hides everything.
There he is. Mountain shooter. You had any tornadoes this year? Not yet, thank God.
Well, we may have. We just haven't seen them.
He and I served together at Hunter Army Airfield in Savannah, Georgia, back in the 80s.
Okay.
And we were both, at that time, crew chiefs on the UH-1 Hueys.
Okay.
Mountain shooter obviously is not his real name, but we keep his real name out of this because I don't
Well,
know if he wants it known.
He doesn't want it known. He would have put himself.
Right.
Look, are you working? Know what's scary? Doug working on Hueys. So we know how
that's good one, buddy.
That's funny.
That was kind of scary, especially flying with Eddie White. That was pretty damn scary.
Hey, tell me what you think about drag shows.
I think that the people that perform them in front of children should be arrested.
Yes, me too. Tell me what you think about teachers bringing all this stuff into schools.
I think that they should be arrested.
What do you think about all these teachers who are sleeping with their 16-year-old students?
Where were they when I was 16?
But it's wrong.
Yes,
we're not advocating
it's
for
wrong.
it.
That was a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. But for real, we have seen more people in the news doing lewd, awful things. And you know, y'all keep that out of the children. The children do not need this, and they don't need, it's normalizing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you're putting it in Disney, and you're putting it, y'all are messing up the world. That is messing up the world.
Yeah, there's no
yes,
place for
lost their moral compass. Yeah. What do you believe in? When you take away everything we believe in, then that's it's.
And the bigger question for me, and I will keep asking this, is where's law enforcement? Why are they not stepping in?
I have a lot of people that I see. Okay, this is a real thing. Okay, so I have a lot of people that come on to see me, that come to, because patient. Okay. And what they say is, I've just been through a really bad breakup and I don't know who I am. And I need to find out who I am. Okay. The first thing we do is we find out what they believe in. What do you believe in? What are your values? You know, I mean, like I can say, hello, my name is Marilyn. My values are honesty, integrity, and love, and you know, and I can, my belief in God, my belief in my family, and working hard and smiling no matter what.
Yeah.
And even whenever we're arguing or whatever, I say, what is this?
Marilyn.
Oh, he has 3 syllables for me. Marilyn. And that's whenever I know he's mad, and I say, Douglas, and he laughs. And sometimes I time out, and I say, time out, but isn't it better to argue with me than anybody else? Okay, go ahead, yell at me. And he says, I can't even yell at you. It's really funny.
All right.
But what I'm saying is they need to find themselves, and they're trying to find out who they are. And so you find out what you believe in first. And if you don't know what you believe in, or your moral compass is off, y'all, that is a big sign that that it's not good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I have to say.
All right, what's for dinner?
You know what? I've been working all day, and what's for dinner? Because I normally cook, but I didn't even go to the grocery store because you told me you wanted me here.
Will you make me a sandwich?
You know I can make you a sandwich, baby.
All right, folks, thanks a bunch for joining in tonight. Much appreciated. You had many places to be tonight. You chose to be here with me, and for that, I'm forever grateful.
Yes.
If you haven't already done so, please go to douglasducote.com and check out the website. Also, in the description of this video, once it goes up as a regular video, not a live show, and all my videos and all my live shows, you can see in the description where you can follow me on social media platforms. Follow me there. I'll follow you back. That's how this works. That's how we spread the news. And as always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving in the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders and their families, our angel families, our blue and gold star families, and our country. May God bless the United States of America. And I'll see you back here Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central for another live broadcast. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you soon. God bless.